Hey friends, Junior Staggs with Auctioneer University, and I can't tell you how excited I am to be one of the sponsors of a brand new show that's going to be produced by my friends at Brewer Street Mafia and Kell Media. It's called SportsCast with Jeremy Buckelew. It'll be recorded live every Sunday night at 7:30. So if you're into sports, I like Alabama football. Maybe you're a Tennessee fan. Maybe you're into one of those foreign sports like soccer or cricket or rugby. I'm sure he'll cover it all, from local sports to professional sports and everything in between, every Sunday night, 7:30. While you're at it, go over there and give him a like. And if you're thinking about becoming an auctioneer, check out our website, Auctioneer U. That's auctioneer, the letter U.com.
In a world that moves way too fast, there's one place that feels like home. Tater's Place in Paris, Tennessee, where the sizzle of a smash burger meets the sound of laughter, and every plate tells a story. Bring the family, make memories, and taste the love in every bite. Live music, real people, and unforgettable food. That's Tater's Place, 3615 Highway 79 North. Find the flavor you've been missing at Tater's Place. Come and feel what you've been hungry for.
Are you looking for a fence that gives you peace of mind? At All Star Fence Company, we don't just build fences, we build confidence. Whether it's keeping your family safe, protecting your property, or simply adding curb appeal, All Star delivers unmatched quality, dependable service, and lasting results. Locally owned and trusted across West Tennessee, Kentucky, and beyond, we're the name homeowners count on for reliability and strength since 1971. All-Star Fence Company, your first line of defense and your best choice for peace of mind. Visit allstarfenceandsupply.com today.
Hey, good evening, folks. Happy Sunday to you, and welcome to SportsCast. I am your host, Jeremy Buckelew, here with you from the Brewer Street Mafia Studios. We are back live tonight and streaming on the SportsCast with Jeremy Buckelew Facebook page. And so we're excited about that and glad to have you with us. Want to say a quick thank you to all of our sponsors, as we do every week. Thanks to Junior Staggs and AuctioneerU.com. I say it every week, and I mean it every week. If you've ever gotten the itch to be an auctioneer, there is no better person that I can think of to learn from than Junior Staggs. And so you can go over to auctioneeru.com and get signed up for one of his classes, and he'll teach you all the ins and outs of that trade and help you get licensed and all that other stuff. And so thanks to Junior Staggs and auctioneeru.com for sponsoring us here at SportsCast with Jeremy Buckelew from the start. Also want to say thanks to Tater's out on the Lake Highway. It's more than just a restaurant. Got the motorcycle shop out there as well. But, when we go out there, it's always a smash burger and fried pickles for me. And my wife laughs at me because I mention those fried pickles every week, but they are my favorite thing on the menu. Kenna has decided her favorite thing now is the cheese coins that they have. And so I encourage you to go out there to Tater's, grab you a bite to eat. They'll take care of you. And if you've got a motorcycle, you can take it out there and get it worked on as well. And while you're there waiting to get your bike repaired or some tires put on it, whatever, grab a bite to eat from the restaurant while you're there. Again, that's Tater's out on the Lake Highway. And then thanks also to All-Star Fencing and Jeff Archie and his crew. All your fencing needs, not just here in Henry County, but wherever you may be watching, they can help you out and get you taken care of, and give those guys a call for any fencing problems you're having or need or anything like that. Also want to say thanks to Patriot Plumbers and Shelters Insurance for being sponsors as well. Got a fun show tonight. I've been looking forward to this one. It's going to be a good one. I am pleased to be joined this evening by the one and only Devan Raymer. And Devan, you're a guy who we were talking before I came on, and you're the first official non-Henry County alum to be on the show as far as sports and that kind of stuff. So got some big shoes to fill there, but I'm looking forward to it and glad you could join us tonight on SportsCast.
Man, it's a privilege. It's a privilege. There's a lot of the guys that have been on here, I've known like 90% of them.
Sure.
I have a good friendship with a lot of them, and it was just cool watching them, because it's kind of like different for us. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh gosh, how am I going to act, but I really enjoyed it so far.
Yeah. So, as always, start the show with what's the best thing you've seen this week?
Well, this week I just got back from Young Life Camp. So, yes, I'm a PA, specialized in orthopedics. I've had a good sports career, but now in this season of life, really committed to sharing the gospel with high school kids. Yep. So that's what me and my wife, that's what our passion looks like. So this week we went to Young Life Camp. I'm going to share just a few.
Sure. No, okay? Go for it. Yeah, that's why I got you on. Like, listen, part of, you were a standout at Dresden and at Bethel, but part of the reason I wanted you on was just because of what you've done here recently, and like your involvement with Henry County, not just the Henry County Athletics program, but Young Life especially. Yep. I know that's near and dear to your heart. That's one of the things I was looking forward to hearing most about tonight. So,
well, this week, so just things that come off the dome. I spent a week with high school kids, all right, from Westview, Union City, and Henry County, and their leaders, and we had a blast, staying up late every night. Yeah. Last week I probably went to bed around 2:30 a.m., maybe 4 a.m. On one night, so sacrificing a lot, and it's different because I have a kid at home, right, and that's not my bedtime usually. But I would say the best things this week is two girls came up to me just during an event, and they said, "Hey, Devan, will you baptize me?" And like I start crying. I try to hold it back a little bit.
Sure.
I probably don't need to as much, but I did start crying. And so that's just changing lives. And then another one is whenever I got back home and my son came up to me. He's 2.5 years old, and he will not let go of me. Yeah. And he's just like, my daddy's home. My daddy's home.
It's like the best feeling in the world.
And then also I just laugh so hard. This is the hardest I laugh all year is Young Life Camp.
So my best thing is very similar to yours in that I just was thankful this week. Kenna's home from school. She went to the beach for a week, and now she is finally home. And it was just nice to have some family time. We had like a family game night the other night and played a card game and spent about an hour. She likes these. I can't remember the name of the game, and so Ken, if you're watching, just like type in the comments or something. I don't know, but it's not Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza, but it's a card game similar to that, and she found it and played it, and we just had a blast as a family. I hate that, Miss Cade being there, but, he's down in Oxford, and that's how life works sometimes. And so, but just sitting around the table with the family, having a good time is always fun. So that's my best thing that I have seen.
Game night is my favorite. That's when I think that's kind of like when I'm happiest is when I'm playing a game.
So I want to go back to Young Life. If you mind if we talk about that
Let's
now?
Talk about it.
Will you explain to the folks, because I didn't know anything about Young Life, and so I started going to Maplewood, and then met you through your involvement with that program, and then you and Hannah started coming to Maplewood, and so just explain what Young Life is and kind of how you got involved with it.
Yeah, well, I'm just going to start off by saying that our mission is Jesus, okay, and our method is relationships. Okay. The way that me and my wife, we actually met each other through Young Life. We fell in love serving Jesus together, and bringing high school kids to Jesus. That started, first off, Young Life is an international organization. Right. It's in over 100 countries in the world. It's newer to Henry County.
Sure.
I think it started like 2020. That's how long me and my wife have been here. It started maybe a semester before that, but then COVID kind of shut it down. But basically, my story with Young Life started in 2014 later 2013, me and a lot of kids. Okay, so let me start off here. Okay, so 2013, I went to Bethel University. I started going to FCA. At that time, I thought that, I thought that I knew God, but then I went to FCA and I met friends that really showed me what following Jesus was like, that I wasn't really exposed to earlier on. And then we had this little side meeting, like, hey, it's an interest meeting. Hey, if you're interested in Young Life or like being a leader, basically it's a ministry to high school kids, we're going to meet over here at the end. And so I went. I was like, sure, I was interested. And basically some of the people that were leading the meeting had Young Life in high school, and that was in Jackson. Okay. Northwest Tennessee, rural Northwest Tennessee did not have Young Life. There were like spurts here and there, like in Dyersburg or like way a long time ago, like in Union City. But currently we didn't have it. And we started it at McKenzie High School. Okay. That was in 2014, first club. And we had like 7 leaders. We stuck with it. A lot of those leaders are currently on staff now with Young Life. And basically, I played college football.
Yeah.
I had a lot of science classes that were very difficult. I had a social life, and then I was a Young Life leader. And so I was booked. I was nonstop doing something, and I cut out a lot of sleep. So I would meet at high schoolers' houses with their parents' permission. We would surround a living room. I would move furniture to the sides. We'd play a lot of funny games. I would get to know these high school kids and have shared experiences with them. This is going on 10 years now. Yeah. And at the end, we would worship and we would talk about Jesus and really be real and authentic with them. Like, where are you with Jesus? Like, self-reflect here. Really, where are you with Jesus? Are you just checking off a box, or do you really have a relationship? Are you following him?
How many kids y'all have that come? Because y'all meet weekly, or try to, I think, right?
Yes.
So how many kids? I know it's a huge group now here in Henry County, that there's a lot of kids who may be involved in church somewhere else, but they're also plugged in at Young Life. And so
so one thing I'm really proud of, I mean, again, it's because how long we've worked. Like, I've been a Young Life leader for 10 years, and I've never got paid a cent. Like, this is what I'm passionate about. We moved here in 2020, bought a home over here, really close next to the studio.
Right.
I'm not going to give my address out. I about did.
Just about
but Tennessee has the best Young Life in the world, pretty much, as far as numbers and just like quality. I think that we commonly have the biggest Young Life in the state, which means like almost across the world we have one of the biggest Young Lives, in my opinion. We've counted 160 kids at Young Life. You know, those are our big events.
Sure.
On a normal night, you know, it's not like a theme or anything. We can, again, have 100. During the fall semester, there's a lot of things going on, a lot of sports. Spring semester, baseball, softball.
Right.
I mean, we probably have around 60 kids.
Okay.
Pretty regularly.
What ages are y'all serving?
This is strictly high school. So this is freshman to senior.
Okay.
These are, you know, a lot of kids don't go to church. A lot of kids do, you know, and we also see that as like, hey, if you do know Jesus, like, bring your friends,
right,
you know, that maybe don't know Jesus. But it's for everybody, even with people that, you know, that do know the Lord. Like, let's strengthen our relationship there. And I want to walk alongside with you doing that.
It's one of those situations where, like, if you're on the outside looking in at Young Life and you don't understand how it works, one of the, not complaints, it's just, you know, it's like a social club instead. And like, but no, because like those kids who wouldn't come to a church youth group on a normal Wednesday night or a Sunday night or Sunday morning will pack out your Young Life.
Yes.
And so, you know, y'all may do some silly games and fun stuff, but at the end of the night, they're hearing a gospel presentation.
Absolutely.
And that's what really matters in the grand scheme of things.
Yes. Yes. And I mean, my wife worked for the church, you know, and we go to church and we love the church and we want to bring these kids to church. Sure. At the end of camp, a lot of my seniors, you know, a lot of them don't go to church, and some expectations I set for them, a lot of them are moving away. They're hitting a hard reset button.
Right.
They're going to Chat. They're going to Murray. They're going wherever they're going. It's like, hey, let's try to find a small group that we can talk about Jesus with, and that we can do life with, that we can have lunch with afterwards. You know, visit around, like, just find community.
Get plugged in somewhere.
That's right.
That's what we tell our kids, the same thing. Is just, I don't care where you go, as long as, you know, they teach sound doctrine. But get plugged in somewhere and find somewhere with some people that you can connect with. And so, well, going to back up just a little bit and talk about, you know, talk about your athletic career. Of course, you were from Dresden, and I remember hearing stories about you, like not long after we had met. I remember somebody be like, well, you know, like Devan Raymer was like legit, like probably one of the best athletes to ever come out of Dresden, and then to go on and play at Bethel too. Not just, and so, I mean, it's okay. You can brag on yourself a little bit here. I know that's not your style. I know you don't, but talk about, so you just tell us a little bit
journey.
about you, that journey, where you grew up, how you got involved. Just like every kid, I guess, wanting to play football or whatever. But yeah, just tell us about Devan Raymer.
Man, I remember going over to my friend's house. NFL Street came out. I don't know if you know that. It's a video game, really popular one, and I just fell in love. And I fell in love with the Tennessee Titans.
Okay.
I knew everything about the Tennessee Titans, and my TV never left the NFL Network ever. I feel like I knew more about football then than I do now. And that was about fourth grade and fifth grade. I started playing football around fourth grade. I was one of the smallest kids, but once high school hit, middle school, I was a really good defensive player. I hit hard. I was a good tackler. I was where I needed to be. But I hit puberty pretty late, honestly. Freshman year, I ran a 5.9 40, which is ridiculous. Not bad. Not good at all. I mean, I had 320 pound. 320. This was actually a little bit before that, just a little bit. That was my sophomore year. But I was really slow. Just didn't quite hit that puberty yet. But then sophomore year, I started middle linebacker at 130 pounds. So, and then I did good. We ended up making playoffs. Now, when I was in eighth grade, the high school team at Dresden went 0-10. 0-10. So I'm going into high school thinking, oh boy.
Yeah.
We brought in.
Is that you throwing the ball? Getting ready to?
Well, we're about to talk about that.
All right.
Senior year, I played nothing but quarterback, pretty much.
Okay.
But we had a new guy come in. His name's Coach Keith Hodge.
Yeah.
Freshman year, he was offense coordinator. And then at the time, my head football coach was Scott Hewitt, who just recently passed away. I just went to that visitation not too long ago. Meant the work,
Sure.
Scott Hewitt, for so many people in Dresden, meant the world, because every football memory that they have, he was almost associated with it. We went to our first state championship with him as the head coach. That was his last year, and then Keith Hodge started the next year as a head coach. But anyway, so started middle linebacker and running back. That's when I first got my first carries and did well. And then junior year, we went 0-10. We had a little successful season. We made playoffs, and then my junior year, Cinderella story. We had guys like Gatlin Hatchell, who was like his second year playing football at the high school level,
right.
And he led us all the way to the state championship. We had guys like Tyler McPeak, who ended up playing at UTM. I mean, one of the best size high school guys I've ever seen in my life. We had a lot of talent. Colin Canal was really fast. I could keep naming all these guys, sure. Eric Van Dyke, DJ Ellis. I mean, I could just keep going. But we had such a good group that was all in. Like we were in it together, and we had good coaches. And again, the culture. People talk about culture in football all the time.
Yeah.
But from going from a 0-10 team, and I was in that to see what has to change in order for you to succeed. And it is such a crucial thing. Whenever those 0-10 teams, that's when people are bullying in the locker room. That's when nothing matters, let's do something to lift ourselves up, here. And that's when the bad stuff happens.
Right.
But whenever you have these successful teams, and accountability and good leadership at the senior level, I mean, it's hard to bring them down.
And you hear that all the time. That I think, I hate to refer everything back to Henry County, but you always hear from Henry County sports that the senior leadership and the leadership in the locker room is what kind of defines those teams and how they're going to be.
Yeah. And that opens up a whole nother thing, too, I want to talk about. But wrapping up going to senior year. So we just came off a state championship, which we lost, which is one of the saddest days of my entire life. I actually watched Henry County play the night before us.
Okay.
They won the state championship with a field goal. Okay.
All right.
So that was
2011.
Yep. Sorry. Yep. 2011. Yeah. It was the 2011 state championship. So it was my junior year. And, so I was like, wow, all these guys, they just brought home a gold ball. And I actually knew a little bit of them just because of proximity. And I went to a few football camps, and I knew some of them. But then going into senior year, we have a lot of returners. We're looking great. our quarterback, first game versus Westview. Westview versus Dresden is like the Super Bowl, okay? I mean, it's
biggest
huge.
rivalry they've got.
First game in the state,
Yeah.
first game in the state. Our quarterback and our other, like, best player, pretty much. It was kind of like me and him. Like, we need the ball in our hands. The quarterback goes down on, like, a special teams play. Like, hurts his knee really bad. The other guy, on a kickoff, tears his knee or something. I mean, awful. So now we have me, and obviously we have some other good players too, but it's like, who's playing quarterback?
Right.
We put me in. We're down. I mean, this is probably second quarter. We're down a touchdown and maybe another field goal. So we're down 10, and we don't have anybody. They put me in as quarterback. We end up winning the game.
There you go.
Winning the game off pretty much Wildcat offense.
Okay.
We run that the rest of the year.
Hey, this works. Let's go do it.
Pretty much go undefeated. We win this. We actually did lose to Huntington, but listen, we're not talking about that. We did win we won the district championship, and we made it all the way to the semifinals.
Okay.
And there's a lot of good stories throughout that year that I'll share too. But I mean, like Union City, like we were 5-0, or as later, and Union City is like a powerhouse.
Mm-hmm.
They have this amazing running back named Keelan Hyde, and he's like 50 yards from setting the state or the Union City rushing record. And I'm safety at the time, and I ended up being an all-state safety that year. And then we met each other, and I knocked him out of the game.
Wow.
And then he didn't play the rest of the season until the very end. He ended up did breaking the rushing record, but the first two plays he had, he went for like 40 yards, and we're like, oh my gosh, are we going to win this game or not?
Right.
I ended up having 3 interceptions that game too, but just the camaraderie that I had in high school too with those guys meant the world, because it's good having good memories. When you're having a successful season, like I love those guys so much.
Right.
I haven't seen them in many years.
Well,
but
it's one of those situations too where, so back last year before Kenna left for Fayetteville, we went and got her a vehicle that would do good in the Ozark Mountains over there and stuff. And we were at a dealership in Clarksville, and this guy was there, and he's like, so where y'all from? I said, we're from Paris. And he's like, oh, Henry County, everything.
Yeah.
And he said he went to Dresden. And so I said, well, do you know Devan Raymer? And I think that he said like he was a senior when you were a freshman, but again, just talked about how unstoppable you were on really both sides of the ball, because like you said, you played some defense as well, but it just made me think of, like you can tell, like he just lit up when I mentioned that I knew Devan Raymer, and that, like just the fact that connection was made, and like those relationships, like you said, are a huge part of high school sports. And
the reason I said that City story too is because after that game, that's when I got my first college offer.
Okay.
And I was like, wow, like it was just a complete surprise.
Sure.
Because people didn't play college football like from there,
Right.
too much. We had a few guys go, but I was like, not me, I'm too small, so that was a pleasant surprise. I think that people say that about me because, like, I don't know, like I wasn't the fastest and I wasn't the strongest.
And love you to death. You were never going to be the biggest guy on the football field when you stepped out there.
Right.
But the way you played, it
could have been a little surprising possibly. Yeah. So I finished my senior year. I had over 2,000 yards rushing my senior year. I had somewhere around 29 or 30 rushing touchdowns. I had a few passing touchdowns, like maybe 6, somewhere in there. And then I had several interceptions as well. I played in an all-star game. It was funny. So there's a guy named, in Huntington, there's a guy named Jake Warbritton. And then his older brother is Tyler Warbritton. Right. So Hall of Famers there.
I was going to say, if you know anything about local, Northwest Tennessee, that name is very familiar to people.
And so throughout the year, it was me and Jake kind of like, who's going to have the highest rushing yards for each game. Jake ended up winning and actually set the state record that year. And then Jalen Hurd broke it 30 minutes later, I think.
He may have done it against us that one game.
Oh, maybe.
Henry County. But anyway, we won't talk about that. But yeah, so And then, so your senior year, how many offers did you end up with at the end of
like
high
some
school?
small ones in Arkansas. I went to Rhodes and looked at that because one of my buddies there, Dale Hutcherson, who's the county mayor at Wicklow County, he actually showed a lot of leadership that inspired me too. Like in high school, like he would, he'd give pump up speeches and stuff like that. And it's like I wish I could kind of do that.
Sure.
That wasn't necessarily my forte. But I definitely would try to lead my team really good. But so Bethel was the standout, okay, because my mission in life was to go to UTM and be a Pike, okay. So that's what all the Dresden guys did. I looked up to a lot of those guys, Jake Bonham, stuff like that. I was around them. Daniel Harris, Gallon Hatchell. There's a lot of just history there.
Sure.
All my friends' dads did that, and so that's kind of was my plan. And then I got that offer, and I said I'm not done with football. I want to play football, and I headed into Bethel, and I was like, my mission was I want to be the all-time leading rusher here at Bethel.
Okay,
that was my mission, and then I would tell guys that too. Is like if they asked, I'm like, then they're like, I don't know.
We'll see about that.
Yeah. But Bethel, I had a really good career. Out of 100 freshmen that come in, there were 5 freshmen that made the bus, and I was one of those 5 freshmen.
Wow.
I was holding it down on special teams, making some plays, and ran the ball a little bit.
Yeah.
I came in as a safety, and then during training camp, they're like, let's put you at running back.
So you got recruited for
As
your
a safety,
defense.
because I was all-state safety.
Okay, but then they saw what you could do with the ball in your hands.
Right.
It was like, hey, give that kid the ball.
Right. I went to the All-Star game as a safety as well because, again, just thinking, all right, at the college level, am I going to be fast enough to score touchdowns?
Sure.
So at Bethel, I was a running back. I was a receiver and a fullback. I knew the entire offense. Some good stories. Like for game-winning touchdowns, I remember
You got 3 guys on you there.
Yeah, that was Bluefield. That was in Virginia. So I got to travel a lot, obviously. But one of the guys, just some memories from Bethel. So I was a 3-year team captain.
Okay. All
right, sophomore, junior, and senior year team captain. Earlier it was special teams, and then it was offense and things like that. I ended up being like the 2nd or 3rd, or maybe even 4th. I was pretty high on the rushing list.
Okay.
My touches went down a little bit as I got more versatile.
Sure.
If I'm all conference receiver, I'm not going to be able to touch the ball too much.
They're going to put you in running back just a whole lot.
Yeah, so I remember sophomore year, I was all conference receiver. I played fullback and running back. Again, I was a smaller guy, but I remember being a running back and then having to go against like a guy that just transferred in from Florida State. And they just won a national championship, and it's like he played in that game, and I have to block him, and I did really well. And there's another game where game-winning touchdown. It's me and this a guy misses his block, and it's me against the defensive conference all-star, basically, or the defensive player of the year.
Sure.
I end up destroying him at the goal line.
Is this it? No, that's not that there probably. But
no, that actually is the longest run in Bethel history.
That right there is the...
That was it was an 80-yard rushing touchdown at the time. It's since been broken. Okay. But that was the longest run in Bethel's history at that time. And it was weird. Like, it was just kind of like really a guy missed a tackle. Yeah, that was special. I was like, and the coach like blasted me for it because like you're not fast, like what? How did you do this?
Sorry, but go back to so you destroyed this defender.
Oh yeah, he ended up playing for the Bengals.
Wow.
So like there's a lot of NFL caliber there in the NAIA, so it's just cool. Like, hey, I trucked that NFL guy that's starting right now, But
I'm sure those will be stories that your kids hear.
Yeah, and I haven't told him. I try not to tell him because then it's just going to be a few guys know, and it's like, and then I just don't. I'm not receptive to that.
I know it's just not you.
And then to Bethel, it was a grind, man. Film. I had to know every route I was going to run, every kick out block or zone block I was going to do. I was on every special teams and running back. So
I had Caden Marshall on last week, and he talked about asking about the difference in jumping from high school to college in the game and how much it changes. And his answer was just mentally, everything speeds up mentally, and you've really got to know.
Absolutely.
And I can't imagine playing defense and learning those plays when you first get there, and then moving you to offense and learning wide receiver, fullback, and running back. The adjustments that you had to make as far as you're learning the game of football, and then as well as just how quick it all moves anyway.
Yeah, and I remember getting my first carry in practice. It's like, wow, that happened a lot faster than I thought it was. And then it takes you about a week or two to kind of adjust to that. And then also you're at college, there's a guy right behind you that can do just as good of a job or better, especially if you mess up. If you mess up, if you fumble, whatever, all right, next guy up. It means so much more. And honestly, mental health too. You can beat yourself down because a coach can be beating you down too. And it's like, man, my worth is, am I starting or not? My worth is, I dropped that pass and I suck or something.
Right.
And so that's a battle too. In high school also, you grew up with every single one of these guys and you have memories, and there's just a camaraderie and friendship that goes along with it. In college, these guys are going for your spot, if you don't mess up, until later, until you really get a core group, it's pretty cutthroat. And the coaches can be too at the time. So
I told you this first 30 minutes goes fast. We got to take a
break.
We got to take a break. Hear
man.
from our sponsors, and then we'll come back and talk some more with Devan Raymer. We're going to talk about more football, but you're such a man of so many talents that a lot of folks don't know. You got a lot of hidden talents. We're going to talk about those and bring them out. Talk about family life, that kind of stuff. But going to hear from our sponsors real quick. We'll be back after these messages right here on SportsCast with Jeremy Buckelew.
That flew by.
Hey friends, Junior Staggs with Auctioneer University, and I can't tell you how excited I am to be one of the sponsors of a brand new show that's going to be produced by my friends at Brewer Street Mafia and Kel Media. It's called SportsCast with Jeremy Buckelew. It'll be recorded live every Sunday night at 7:30. So if you're into sports, I like Alabama football. Maybe you're a Tennessee fan. Maybe you're into one of those foreign sports like soccer or cricket or rugby. I'm sure he'll cover it all, from local sports to professional sports and everything in between, every Sunday night, 7:30. While you're at it, go over there and give him a like. And if you're thinking about becoming an auctioneer, check out our website, Auctioneer U. That's auctioneer, the letter U.com.
In a world that moves way too fast, there's one place that feels like home. Tater's Place in Paris, Tennessee, where the sizzle of a smash burger meets the sound of laughter, and every plate tells a story. Bring the family, make memories, and taste the love in every bite. Live music, real people, and unforgettable food. That's Tater's Place, 3615 Highway 79 North. Find the flavor you've been missing at Tater's Place. Come and feel what you've been hungry for.
Are you looking for a fence that gives you peace of mind? At All Star Fence Company, we don't just build fences, we build confidence. Whether it's keeping your family safe, protecting your property, or simply adding curb appeal, All Star delivers unmatched quality, dependable service, and lasting results. Locally owned and trusted across West Tennessee, Kentucky, and beyond, we're the name homeowners count on for reliability and strength since 1971. All Star Fence Company, your first line of defense and your best choice for peace of mind. Visit allstarfenceandsupply.com today.
Back here on SportsCast with Jeremy Buckelew. I do want to remind you about the Mike Weatherford show this week. He's going to have Burton Staggs on his show talking about anything and everything crime related that you want to talk about. That's Tuesday night. I say anything and everything. Of course, he was instrumental in the Holly Bobo case when it was going on. Right now, I think he is being sequestered because that case is currently they're arguing for a new trial down in Savannah. My buddy, Judge Bradbury, I went to law school with him and rode back and forth from Nashville 3 nights a week. So he's on the bench listening to all of that new evidence and testimony. And so I don't think Burton can comment on that. But if you got anything else you want to ask him about, call in on Tuesday night. He'll be here with Mike for the Mike Weatherford show this week and talking crime-related cases that are going on and that kind of stuff that you won't want to miss. That's Tuesday night at 7 o'clock right here. But again, we're here with Devan Raymer tonight and talking a little football, a little bit of life in general. But then when we went to break, we're talking about just at Bethel and the changes that there and just again, your personality is such a. You said you were voted captain 3 years, which I don't know how many sophomores get voted captain on college teams, but I think that says a lot to your character and your leadership. And
then just with my efforts too, like outside of football at that time, I actually got a really big character award for the entire conference, or region is even the region, which was again an honor. My favorite award I've ever gotten was Most Compassionate Award in PA school out of my entire class. Okay. And I hope my patients see that too.
Well, does that hang on your office wall?
It is on my office wall. It's not for show. It's not really where people can see it, but it's in my office. Not many people can see that, but oh man, there's so much to talk about.
Sure. Well, let's move into that. So you finish your football career at Bethel. Did you said you're like third or fourth on the Russian list?
Yeah, maybe fourth now, maybe
that's
fifth.
Still pretty daggone
know.
impressive.
I know after I left, they had some really good years. Brent Dearman came out.
Yeah.
There's a guy named Sam Castronova who has been like the MVP of the Arena League for like 5 years running. Is like the main guy in Arena. He was a quarterback, led him to like really close to a national championship. There's some really good players in coaching after I left. They scored 100 points a game. It was crazy. And then, I ended up being like preseason All-American. I kind of had to go everywhere, and I didn't get that All-American title. I was preseason All-Americans, and I got All-Conference
when you're having to,
years.
like you said, when you're having to divvy up your workload between 3 different positions, basically, it's hard to, if they had it's not even a utility player that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not hey, we need somebody to do this. Okay, Raymer, get in and do it. It's like you were the guy at wide receiver, and then, hey, we need a guy at running back. Okay, put Devan in. Devan, go be the guy at running back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like they were just throwing you out there and like, we just need a body on the field. You were impressive.
And again, I'm not saying I was the best athlete on the field, because I definitely was not. There's guys like Quincy Walden from South Gibson, who was like one of the fastest guys I've ever seen in my entire life.
Sure.
And he was a guy that, hey, we need you on this play, and he would do that too. So I graduated from Bethel, went to PA school.
Right.
I was a CNA first, so I was wiping a lot of butts and cleaning a lot of beds.
The dirty work at that point.
I got lots of stories with that are smelly and nasty, and I pull those out every now and then. But, it makes changing diapers a lot easier in parenthood.
Sure. Well, you talked about the compassion that, that you got at PA school. I'm sure you learned a lot of that during those times as a CNA, because you're
Absolutely.
right. Those are the dirty jobs that, a lot of folks just don't even think about.
So, and then PA school, I struggled at first. I mean, I was the first generation football player in my entire family, so nobody really coached me in that.
Sure.
And then medically wise, I didn't have anybody in my family that was medical.
Okay.
So I'm just going on frontiers here, and I struggled, but I finished, and I did well at the end. Again, that was probably one of my lows in my entire life. I'll talk about it in Sunday school too sometimes. It's like, that was a really struggle. That's one of the times where I was just like, I was desperate I was just reaching out to God.
Sure.
I was like, please let me pass. Because in PA school, there's like 2 tests a day sometimes, at least a test a day. Because it's
pretty fast-paced.
It's fast-paced. It's medical school. Through a fire water hose.
Yeah.
Can
I ask you something? I don't mean to cut you off, but before we went on, you had said that you had always envisioned that you were going to be a teacher and you were going to be a coach.
Oh yeah.
So when did you make the transition to but I still would enjoy that. But I'm being called to be. I want to go to PA school and I want to be a PA.
Yeah. Well, I went to Bethel knowing that they did have a really good PA program, and I did not know what I wanted to be. I even wrote a poem. I remember for one of my humanities classes, it's like I could go this route or this route, basically teacher and coach or the medical route. And really, I mean, the lifestyle. I wanted to just probably provide for my family a little bit better. So I chose that route. And then I was in Jackson. My wife was on staff. She's the director of high school girls ministry at Inglewood in Jackson at that time. And that's, again, where I got introduced to a little bit more ministry stuff and really better worship, stuff like that, just more church stuff. And then we got approached by my friend Ross Barnes and Blake Cossey, and they said, hey, we need a staff person in Henry County, and we want you to do it. And I was going to move to Henry County because my family was on my mind. I was like, I really wanted them to know Jesus. So, and they do. Thank the Lord. But then we moved to Paris. I was driving from Jackson to Paris to work for one of the jobs that I did a rotation on. Dr. Heather Melton, she hired me at the time as a private practice. Learned all the ortho things. Went to surgery. Saw the blood and gore that comes along with it, so I can explain it in clinic. And now I'm pretty much all clinic. So I do the clinic every day. Paris. I'm in Paris Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then I'm in McKenzie Tuesday and Thursday. Okay. And then we got bought out by Baptist, and so I was doing something that I really loved, coaching football with Henry County. I was just a volunteer for 1 year. They were so nice enough to let me do that. Really to make a big connection with these kids as well, and I learned 100 more names. Because I really wanted to learn. I really wanted to use what I've learned in life. Like, I've played football and have learned football for like 16 years or so, however, I don't know. And I was like, this is kind of useless knowledge every day, and I want to apply it, and I want to help kids, and I'm talented in connecting with high school kids. Right. And I think my sports history also helps me do that. Oh, sure. It's common ground with these guys. And I just got done playing ultimate frisbee right before I came here. I was sweating. But again, that's because we're playing sports and I'm helping them, like learn and catch and throw. And hey, let's do this so we can, score a touchdown or something.
On my text I sent out, because I'm thankful to have you at Maplewood for numerous reasons. But one of the for sure things right now is you're helping me with Ultimate and the Church League Ultimate that we play on Sunday nights. And so I just sent a text to my kids and I was like, hey, here's when the game is, wear this, look for Devan. Awesome. So that was my instructions to the kids.
I love it. And it went by so smooth. Good. And it was really good. We lost by 1 point. Yeah. Really, the time ran out before they scored, but we're going to let it ride. Sure. I had to get here. I didn't want to go into overtime. Right? But it was really good exercise, so I'm trying to
I need to get out there and play with y'all. But I got out last week. We did kind of just a fellowship night on Wednesday night, and I got out there and played basketball and realized quickly I got to do something, man, because it about killed me out there playing basketball. Just pick up out there. If you don't
use it, you lose it. I say that to my patients all the time.
I have lost it.
But you're talking about skills earlier.
Yeah. So
I want to briefly talk about my skills, and I know you don't want to, but I'll talk about some of your skills too, because I know you don't like hearing compliments and things like that, but I think this is your cast, and I think that they need to learn a little bit about you too. So things that I've been picking up, I always love to learn something new. Mm-hmm. I just learned how to, whistle with my hands. It's like everybody can do it. Let's just YouTube it and learn how. Put 2 hours.
Figure it out.
Put 2 hours to it. Yeah. So now I can do that if somebody scores or if somebody. I don't know. That's a little thing. I just learned how to use ride the unicycle.
I told you coming on, like there was a video I think on Facebook of you doing it. So I should have grabbed that video to put up. But yeah.
My goal.
How long did it take you to learn that?
Honestly, it's a lot of falling. Or knowing how to fall. Sure. So I'm good at falling. Okay. I practiced my whole life not trying to fall with getting tackled. So I'm good with balance stuff. So it's just you just got to keep trying and 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 keep trying. and then kind of just go for it. The
Right.
better you are at falling, the more like you're gonna like, all right, I'm a little risky here. I can lean forward and do it.
Sure.
I'm a really good juggler. I got lots of juggling tricks. My goal is to juggle and unicycle at the same time.
Okay.
I can go all the way down my street right now on my unicycle,
right.
and I'm going to see if I can do one lap around the block. I've been practicing some harmonica. I got a little Zach Bryan here and there.
Glad to hear that.
Like 9-ball, I can do 9-ball.
Okay.
And then I just like pushing myself athletically. I'm trying to really get really good with the just pull ups in general. And so I'm working out, and I'm really good at handstand walks, stuff like that.
You seem like one of those guys that just learns to love new stuff.
And I just taught a kid how to do a backflip at Young Life Camp.
There you go.
I try to do that every year. So but quick excerpt. While I was at Bethel, I tried to run with the cross country team. I tried to swim with the swimming team, here and there.
Sure.
And then like play soccer with the soccer guys. Like learn new skills, do things that are hard, and like the more you expose yourself to, the more you're going to learn, and the more you're going to fail, but learn from.
Yeah.
So love that stuff. But you, on the other hand, all right, this man, okay, he has a sportscast. He's a sportscaster with Henry County things. He's a lawyer. He leads worship commonly at church, and man, he can shred and he can sing. Like, it's crazy. Yeah. Tell me what else. How did you learn these things?
I just, I've very, similar story. I grew up in church. My granddad was a preacher, so we were always there. I've always enjoyed singing. So just leading worship always came natural to me. I learned guitar when I was about, 11 or so is when I picked up a guitar and started playing and learned it. And I know just enough to trick people into thinking I know how to play guitar. It's not the case. I'll tell you, my son Case picked up a guitar 3 months ago and is already so much better at it than I am. Of course, Kenna's saying, so, it's just music has always been a part of my family, and I enjoy leading and helping out wherever I can. And when they need it done it wherever it is, I'll be happy to do it. But, then the sports thing, I just happened to get involved with that by Dan Patterson. Called me one day and was like, hey, do you want to, I got a job at the radio station for you if you want it. And I thought 16, 17 years old, well, that sounds kind of fun. And so that's how I got into radio. And but yeah, that's really most of my talent. I don't do much other stuff other than that. But I am nowhere near, I can't unicycle. I can't juggle. I can't do. If I tried to do a handstand against the wall, let alone a walking handstand, it would end up not pretty.
Well, and the reason I do some of those things is, again, to appeal to high school kids. Sure. And then also, like, we do things called just skits, basically. And, I just try to do anything to entertain the crowds. Like, we'll have Young Life Banquet to raise money, because this Young Life is all locally funded.
Right.
Young Life doesn't happen if it's not funded for, because we need equipment. We need game materials. We need snacks. We need things like that. And so if it'll fail if it's not funded.
Especially with 160 high school kids, they usually come with an appetite. No matter if they could have just left the restaurant, by the time they get to where you are, they're like, hey, if we got snacks, they're going to eat them. We've learned that as well. And then, like you said, just part of the allure and wanting to get them there is, I don't want to say it's not entertainment. But you got to have something fun for them to do,
right.
And so, yeah.
And then we can talk about my job too.
Yeah, let's.
So again, I'm a PA. I specialize in orthopedics. Anything muscle related, anything bone related.
Was that just a natural transition for being an athlete?
Oh man, I chose the right way.
Yeah.
In PA school, ortho wasn't even on my radar, but now I'm at every home football game on the sidelines at Bethel.
Right.
Okay. So I'm their guy as far as if something that the athletic trainers can't do, they send to me. So I see every Bethel sport. So I know a little bit of Spanish, because a lot of them are from Brazil and a lot of England and things like that, because they have volleyball, they have softball, tennis. A lot of them are foreigners. And so I enjoy that. I enjoy seeing my young people, because they're going to get better a lot quicker.
Right.
And then so McKenzie High School, see their people, because my clinic's right next to them. I filled in like even this year with soccer at Henry County near the end of the year because we've had a little vacation.
Sure.
So love being there next to my guys that I know and like helping them out, getting them back on the field as fast as I can. But I really love seeing people in the community. Like I did free physicals this year. I've been doing free physicals. I did at least 1,000.
Wow.
I went to Union City, Huntington, McKenzie, Inman. And there's probably several I didn't say.
And you're talking about sports physicals that the kids have to have to play in high school or whatever. Yeah.
And that's just because it's for free.
Sure.
And it's like I want them to be able to play sports.
Oh, absolutely. And I know that.
And I love high school kids.
It's great that y'all do that because it just gives them, like, I guess y'all have it at your clinic. Do you go to the field house or wherever you go to the school?
We go to their school.
Yeah.
We go to their school. Set it up in the gym. A lot of local physical therapies help us out, like Dynamics or Baptist, things like that. And it's good. It's good. But I love my job. I love the people I work with.
Yeah.
I love going to work.
I was going to say, if you can tell you love work because if you're a friend of Devan on Facebook, like your scare videos are some of the like they make me laugh and I know that the people that you're like spooking probably, they're just hilarious to me as a third party person watching, but it just brings a smile to my face. And because like I said, you can tell you are having a good time.
We are. And that's not on the clock necessarily. That's at lunch. That's off, after. But, it's good to love the people that you work with and just lift each other up. Sure. And I think that we do a really good job of that. I love going to work every day. Good. So find a spot like that wherever you're at. And then I just love helping people. So I see patients from literally like infant to 107 years old. Mm-hmm. Do a lot of knee injections. Talk a lot about surgeries. Surgery outcomes are phenomenal. But whenever I have a patient sit down with me, I want them to know that they're cared for, that they matter, and that they know exactly what's going to happen. And just I want them to feel comfortable coming to me. Sure. And I think I do a good job of that. But again, I just love seeing my kids too, just because, I don't know, that's just where I'm passionate about.
Family man as well, and about to be a growing family man. You've got, you talk about it if you want
to. So my wife and I, Hannah, we've been married, just celebrated 5 years. 5-year anniversary, went to Nashville. Saw Drew and Ellie Holcomb, which are two of my favorite artists. Ate really nice. We have a 2.5-year-old boy named Jack, and I'm so proud of him. So proud of him. And then I have a baby girl coming in about a week or two.
Like right around the corner.
We're still working on names. We're doing house renovations. Yeah. We just got the driveway asphalted. We got to do some flooring in the back, put some carpet down. I was thinking about doing shiplap, and we're running out of time, and it's stressful, and we're trying to work on all that.
So 2 things with that. How excited is Jack to be a big brother?
Oh, man. This morning, he beat me up, and he said, "I'm big brother. I'm big brother." He acknowledges the baby in Hannah's belly and gives her a kiss. Yeah. He is ready for a playmate.
Does he have any name suggestions?
We'll say it, and he'll either say yes to all of them or no to all of them.
The reason I ask is I love telling this story. When we found out we were having Kenna and we knew that we were going to have a girl, Cade was adamant that we named Kenna Cowboy Hat.
Cowboy Hat.
And so I don't know if Jack, has some name suggestions like that, but Kenna, luckily, is not Cowboy Hat. We decided to go with Kenna instead.
I mean, we could go with Shark Attack. But we've narrowed it down to about 3, and so we're just really praying for that and thinking on it, and everybody has their different inputs, and they're all different.
Yeah.
So
are you ready to be a girl dad? That's my second question.
Yeah. I'm hitting the gym, and trying to scare away those boys. Jack goes to Hannah. Is a volunteer at the Henry County Girls Soccer. She's a soccer coach.
Yeah, she's the assistant coach for them.
That's right. So. She used to be head coach for McKenzie. Yeah. She's been assistant at TCA. So she's there right now, and Jack goes to every practice. And so he's kicking balls and everything like that.
So one of my favorite things to see during the boys' games is when y'all would come, and Jack was always down just past the end zone, kicking the soccer ball, playing, just having a good time, enjoying being out there. You could tell. Again,
just as part of us being Young Life Leaders, we are where kids are at, and those are at sports games. And so we hit every one of them, just about softball, baseball, basketball, tennis, football. I mean, we're everywhere, and Jack gets exposed to all of it, and I feel like that's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kids love him. But I think that it's just really good for him.
Sure. So, but in a week or so, family of 3 is going to grow to a family of 4, a week or 2.
And, we'll see if we'll keep going or not. But we're going to be focusing on her, and Hannah played college soccer, and I played college football. Let's see what she can do.
All right. Put a football in her. Well, I guess,
hey, flag football. Flag football is
coming. I'm telling you, it's coming.
And pickleball.
Yes.
I think pickleball, and because there's already some Clarksville teams that have flag football.
They do. Matter of fact, Montgomery Central, I think, was in the state championship this year for flag football. And so I give it 5 years before I think Henry County will have a flag football team in 5 years.
I was watching Henry County versus Kirkwood, the new Clarksville high school, and I was asking them, and they said something about their girls' flag football team. So if it's in Clarksville and there's multiple,
I'm telling you, it's coming.
I think it's coming too.
Yes.
And then a lot of people, upper or high, they're talking about pickleball because it is overtaking tennis.
It has. When Kenna was playing tennis in high school, she had people all the time telling her, like, hey, I know you enjoy playing tennis, but you start playing pickleball because that's where the future is moving as far as college and that kind of stuff of having that as a game. So like being the boys are great. You roughhouse with them, and then you get the girls. And Kenna was, you probably not going to be shocked by this, but Kenna was never like a tea party, let's dress up. She had her baby dolls. She would teach them and all that, but we didn't have like tea parties and little dainty stuff like that. And so are you prepared for that? I am. I'm not a shy person, and I do not get embarrassed easily, and so I will have a tea party, and I'll invite some people if we need to. Awesome.
I'm all in. I'll probably be. Everybody says I'll be wrapped around her finger.
That's how it works.
But I'm gonna love her so much. It's kind of weird. I feel like I have higher expectations for my daughter than my son, as far as like not expectations, but like. I don't know. I can't put it into words. It's like, hey, don't do this.
Yeah.
I feel like more for your girl than your boy.
Just wait. If, like we used to be like that too. And by the time you have a third one, you're just like, hey, kid, go survive. You know, like, we tell people that all the time too.
Yeah.
But you're going to be great at it. Listen, being a dad is awesome. There's nothing. A lot of sacrifice, but it's the best thing in the world. Like, you experience it already with Jack, and as you said, just those when they squeeze you. And I found I keep little notes and stuff. And Kenna wrote me a little note one time because back when I was working for the state, I had to travel a lot, and I'd be gone for 2 or 3 days at a time, a week at a time at times, and you find little notes of Daddy, I miss you. Be safe. Can't wait to see you when you come home. And it just means the world to you. That. And I tell people, and again, you're not a new dad, so this doesn't really apply to you, I guess, right now. But you can empathize with it. But like, I love my wife more than my own life. There's nothing I wouldn't do for her. But I say, you think you love somebody until you have a kid, and then you realize exactly what love. Like we say, hey, I love you. Love that. You realize what that really means when you have that first kid and the first girl and that kind of stuff.
Shows you a lot about the gospel too.
It does. It does.
I do have some funny stories from camp that I'd like to share.
Sure, go for it.
We play this game that we're not supposed to talk about, and so I'm not going to say the name of it, but I will say some of the things that the loser has to do. So everybody, we circle up, we all agree to, all right, whoever loses this has to do this. And so at camp, we had Jacob Davis.
Who's been on our show?
Yeah, who's been on the show, and he had to eat his entire dinner with socks on his hands, okay? So he had a taco with socks. He could have used a fork.
Yeah.
Now he did eat some with the spoon and the fork, but he ate a taco with the sock in his hand.
Nice.
And then
a clean sock, like a worn sock or a clean sock? That's up to them to decide.
Surely it's clean,
Okay,
right?
I hope so.
But some people don't pack very well. And there's a lot of water
They are
sports.
kids after all.
Zip line in the water, big rope swing,
Yeah.
lots of anything. Anyways, another guy, a guy named Riker, he had to drink from his plate and eat from his cup. So he was refilling his sweet tea in his plate and just. Oh my gosh, we have so many more that I cannot say, but it was just, again, the memories that we will never forget.
It's stuff that they'll remember the rest of their life too, and can relate that back to being at Young Life Camp. And while it seemed, some folks are like, why do they do that? Well, because that's what builds those relationships that you were talking
Shared
about.
experiences.
The shared experiences, the laughs and the funny stuff that happens along the way that you can look back on. Like, hey, remember that time that I had to eat those tacos with my socks on my hands? You know what I mean? And just that's what, so that you can relate to those kids and they stay engaged and interested in Young Life. And
and what I got to do now too is, like, we even had a guy stand up during the say-so, saying that, hey, I'm committing my life to Christ.
Right.
So now I got to really be attentive. Like, when these guys go, I got to call them. I got to keep them accountable. I got to show them. I got to walk with them.
Discipleship's a big part of
it's a big
our
burden.
call as Christians. It's one thing to share Christ with others and to show people Christ, but after people accept Christ, you can't be like, all right, well, you did it. Good luck. We'll see you next time. We got to walk along beside them. And
so, I could talk all day about that. But
listen,
how much time we got left?
Well, we're out of time.
Oh,
actually,
gosh.
I know. Right, I was just fixing to say you're going to have to come back, and
if you'll have
we'll
me.
have Devan Raymer part 2. Well, I'll definitely have you back, and so.
A little surprise through the years.
Little Devin through the years here. So.
Oh man, there's a.
So how old is young Devin there?
Young Devin's probably a sophomore.
Okay.
Or a junior there.
And then you actually graduated PA school.
Yeah, I was the youngest in my class in PA school, just about. I started at 22, and then that Devin right there is 22.
Okay.
I'm 2018.
Is that your white coat ceremony?
That's my white coat ceremony.
Yeah.
We give it the first year and then go off to rotations, and with that thing on, it says physician, a student, PA student, PAS. So, man.
That's such a great program that we have here.
It is. I mean, year in, year out, they have the best pass scores just about, and the people in it are solid. I love them so much. I appreciate them more than what they think I appreciate them. Trent Skates, Kerry Smith. I mean, two that come to my head.
Yeah. Well, again, the time goes so quick when we're here, and we're going to have to come back and have you back on and pick back up from where we left off tonight. So
there may be a lot of life and a lot more stories to share.
Listen,
with baby girl.
Yeah. So anyway, Devin, I appreciate you more than you know. Just the work you do, not again, just through church, through the community, the work you're doing with these young kids. You probably hear it a lot from them, but know that there's people who see you doing it and appreciate the work that you do in all realms of it, everything that goes on. And so I just want to say thank you for that and for your heart and pouring into the lives of the people here at Henry County.
Thank you. Thank you. I think the same about you.
Well, I appreciate that.
I really do. Renaissance man.
Hey, join us next week, folks. We'll have Dr. Josh Greer on to talk. Josh is the Sports Illustrated contributor for Tennessee Vol Athletics and is also at Cumberland University now, where he teaches sports management. And so he's going to be on the show. We're going to talk a little bit about everything. He went to the draft this year, and so we're going to talk about his experience at the NFL draft, probably talk some Tennessee volunteer football and athletics in general, and how the college game is changing so fast now, but then the work he does was once at Bethel, is at Cumberland University now, and so that'll be next week with Dr. Josh Greer right here from the Brewer Street Mafia Studios live. Do want to say thank you again to all of our sponsors. Thanks to Junior Stags, Auctioneer U, to Taters, Patriot Plumbers, Shelter Insurance, and All-Star Fencing. Thank you for tuning in this week on SportsCast with Jeremy Buckelew. Remember, we'll be here each and every week from now on here on the SportsCast with Jeremy Buckelew Facebook page, so you can catch us over here. I appreciate Mike Weatherford for letting us use his page for as long as we had to use it, according to Facebook rules and the studio and all that. But we're on our own now with SportsCast with Jeremy Buckelew on their Facebook page, or on my Facebook page, and then myparistv.com. Appreciate them. Thanks to the Brewer Street Mafia and Keel Media and Kevin in the back for keeping us on the air tonight, and look forward to seeing you next week right here at the same time next Sunday night, 7:30, for more SportsCast with Jeremy Buckelew. Thanks again to Devan Raymer for stopping by this week. Appreciate you. And as always, take care of yourself and each other. We'll see you next week.
I got some Josh Greer stories.
See?
I do.